a little bit about the Roman war. Over behind me over here would have been the north end of the quarter. That's where the Fortress Antonia would have been. That's where the Roman garrison would have been. So the Apostle Paul, when he is preaching, we know that in Acts he is rescued from the crowd and gone up the steps to the Antonia Fortress. It would have been there he would have turned around and preached his testimony, which would have riled the crowd. That was his first journey towards imprisonment. He'd be shipped off from there. So during the Roman War, the Fortress Antonia was where Titus came, and he took that end of the Temple Mount, and then he waged war this way, and the Jewish leaders held, of course, the temple itself and all that was around it. By that time, the Jewish leaders were not actually the official leaders anymore. They were the Sicarii, the assassins, who had eliminated by death and murder everyone who disagreed with them, and actually they had killed the high priest. And they installed their own high priest by a lot system. They cast lots to see who God wanted as the high priest, and it turned out to fall on a man who was mentally handicapped and didn't even know what the high priesthood was. And that was sort of a sign of how far it had fallen, how much the blessing of God had been removed. And it's interesting to see how giant and vast this courtyard is. It's just massive, and it covers way more than this. But Josephus also writes that the massacre up here, the death toll up here was so great that this courtyard filled with blood, and the blood flowed down over the walls below the city. It was a horrific time in history, just one of the worst conquests of a city in human history.